Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E, no, why not flaunt my big pencil here? K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We are here because we want to learn algebra. Today is our day number 78. We are in the process of learning how to divide algebraic expressions. Today is our day number 78. We have done 2 days on it, 76 and 77. Yesterday we learned what happens when we divide two numbers of different sign, a positive number being divided by a negative number or vice versa. We learned yesterday that lesson and we spent quite a bit of time on it. The video went on for 22 minutes, I believe it is. So I'm not going to repeat everything that we learned yesterday. We're just going to do the problem, and if it gives you trouble, I insist that you go back and watch yesterday's video. I do not know why anybody would have any business watching day number 78 when they haven't watched day 77. It is to be viewed, it should be learned in proper sequence. Here's the first problem. Negative 16 p squared q divided by 4 p squared q squared. What is that going to give us? Well, let's take a look. Well, since this guy doesn't have any sign in front of it, it is positive. And when you divide, division of two unlike sign to dissimilar sign, this is negative, and this is positive. They are dissimilar signs. They are unlike signs, they are dissimilar signs. A negative divided by positive, or positive divided by negative, is negative. So this whole thing is going to be negative quantity. It is going to be some negative quantity. A negative what? Well, we'll find out in a second. 16 divided by 4 is 4. P squared divided by p squared, well, p squared divided by p squared is just 1. Why is it just 1? Because they cancel each other out. So they're going to cancel each other out. Voila. And then we have q cubed over q squared, which is same as q times q times q over q times q, and the top two q's are going to take out the bottom two and we're left with just q. Or of course when we're dividing the terms, as long as they have the same base, q and q, they have the same base, the quick thing to do is to subtract the exponents. 3 minus 2 is 1. So this goes out and 3 becomes 1. So the answer is that. It's just q, 4 of them. Don't forget that it's negative. Negative divided by positive is negative. So it's negative 4q. That's your answer. I'm going to erase the rest of it so we don't get confused. Very good. That's the answer. Negative 4q is the answer here. Let's do one more, shall we? Let's do one more. Okay, I'm going to erase this thing, obviously, because I don't want to continue at the bottom. Besides, the next one is a little bit more elaborate. See, here we simply had one term which we were asked to divide by another term. We are dividing algebraic expressions, except in this particular case the expression happens to be made up of only one term. Some expressions have two terms, and some expressions have 20,000 terms, or 3 terms, or 4 terms. This one only has one term. This expression has only one term, so it was too simple. The next one we're going to do is where we'll have an expression containing 3 terms, and we'll be asked to divide that expression by another expression. Let's take a look at it. It says divide. We are asked to divide 4x cubed y minus 12x squared y squared plus 8xy cubed by 4xy. Well, that's our question. This thing should have continued in the same line, but I don't have the room. So that's what we're going to do. 4x cubed y minus 12x squared y squared plus 8xy cubed, and we are asked to divide it by 4xy. Okay, now listen, pay attention, okay? Watch, I'm going to do it on the top here because I need the room, so I need to raise it here. Watch what happens. 8 plus 4 plus 6 divided by 2. How much is it? 8 plus 4 plus 6 divided by 2. Well, let's find out. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. So this is 18. It is 18 over 2, which is 9. So we know the answer is 9. Let's put it here. But the difference between this thing, you see, it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. We have three terms, 8, a 4, and a 6. Except instead of 8, here we have 4x cubed y. Instead of 4, we have negative 12x squared y squared. Instead of 6, we have 8xy cubed. An expression with three terms being divided by an expression containing only one term. Right here. It's the exact same thing. It's the equivalent concept. The only difference is that when we're dealing with numerical values, we can add them and we can arrive at one quantity. We can evaluate what 8 plus 4 plus 6 is. We can evaluate it. Here we cannot evaluate this expression because we do not know what x and y are. Had we known, had we been given the values of x and y, we would have been able to evaluate this expression, and we would have had a numerical value, which is what we did in the first 20 days, evaluate algebraic expressions. We learned how to evaluate those expressions. But because we do not know what x and y are, this expression stays the way it is. And we have to divide this expression by that. How do we do it? That's what I'm showing here. How you do it is this. We have to break this up into, we have to chop it up into three different parts. This whole quantity divided by 2 is same as 8 divided by 2 plus 4 divided by 2 plus 6 divided by 2. That's what this is. The 2 belongs to everybody. 8 divided by 2 is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. What do we get here? 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9. There you go, we get 9, voila. You see? That's what we're going to have to do here. We're going to have to take this first term, 4x cubed y, and divide it by 4xy. Then we take the second term, negative 12x squared y squared, and we're going to have to divide it by 4xy. And then we take the third term, 8xy cubed, and divide it by 4xy. Individually, separately, one by one, in three separate steps. Do you understand? That's what we'll do. So let's write out the three separate steps so it's easier for us to see. So the first one is 4x cubed y over 4xy. I shouldn't have written that high because I need the room to do some work on the top. 4x cubed y over 4xy, right here. Then we have negative 12. So a negative 12 x squared y squared over 4xy. And then we have positive 8 xy cubed over 4xy. Let's put parentheses around these things so we can see them. Three separate things. Here's the first one, here is the second one, here is the third one, voila. And notice how I wrote it. I could have actually put this negative right here and be done with it, but I want you to get in the habit of doing it properly. Put a positive here and put a negative in there. Okay, it's a good habit because that positive here we just have one term here, but we could have put both of these together, in which case we could not put a negative outside. You follow me? You see? We cannot. What we have here is this. We have positive, and then inside we have negative 12, and this guy is positive 8. That's what we have. In this case, it is not proper to put a negative outside and do it like this. These two are not the same quantity. These two are not equivalent quantities. This is 12 plus 8, 20. This is a negative 20. The bottom one is a negative 20. The top one is negative 12 plus an 8 is negative 4, and that's what that is. It's negative 4. These are not equivalent. So always put the positive outside, and then whatever sign that belongs to each individual terms, write those signs with each individual term so we can keep track of it and we do not mess up our inventory. Yes, that's what I said. That's what it is. It's an inventory of signs. We've got to keep them separate, one by one. So that's it. Now I need the room, so I need to erase this thing. We already have it. I'm going to erase it out. The rest is very simple. The rest is downhill. 4 divided by 4 is just 1. X cubed divided by x is going to be x squared. This x is going to drop out, and this cube is going to become squared, and the y is going to drop out. So this is just x squared. Let's go to the next one. This is a positive 4 12 divided by 4 is 3, and negative divided by positive, negative divided by positive, division of two dissimilar signs, these are dissimilar signs, negative and a positive, is negative. So we have negative 3, and then x is going to cross out with x squared, so we lose out this square sign, and same thing with y is going to cross out with y squares. So we end up with xy. And again, if you do not know what I just did here, that is your sign, that is your cue, that is your hint that you have skipped videos in the past. I cannot emphasize enough, and there's only so many times I can repeat the same thing over and over again like a madman. If you want to learn algebra proper way, if you want to learn the algebra properly, you must watch these videos in proper sequence, which is why I leave this schedule on the blackboard every single time. Start with day number 1 and watch every single day, every single video, and do every single problem with me, so that I don't have to worry about whether or not you understood what the hell I just did. What I did was this: x squared divided by x is same as x times x over x, which of course is x cancels out with this one, and we're left with just x to the first power. That's one way of showing it. Here's another way of showing it. This x cancels out, and the square becomes 1. That's it. I just crossed it out. That's it. When you cross it out and don't write anything, that means it's 1. It's just x raised to 1. It's just x raised to 1, which is x. That's what we just did. You understand? Let me show you one more with the numerical values. 5 squared divided by 5. Well, 5 squared is 25. 25 divided by 5 is 5, isn't it? I'm going to show it to you. Watch here. The grown-up method would be bam. That's it. What we're saying is that this 2 has gone. Well, if 2 has gone, what was it replaced by? It was replaced by 1. But we don't have to write 1. If it's just 5, everybody knows it's 5 raised to 1. We don't have to write it, but that's what happened. This was raised to 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's just 1. Do you understand? Every time I tell you that I won't do it over and over again, and every time I end up doing it. This is how I spoil people. 8 divided by 4 is just 2. So it's positive 2. I hope you can read this green marker. And then this x will cancel out with that x. And again, this is y and this is y cubed. So the y is going to go out and y cubed will become y squared. So it's y squared. That's it. There's your answer. The answer is x squared minus 3xy plus 2y squared. There you go, that's it. That was the end of our day for today. Today was day number 78. I will see you tomorrow on day number 79. We're going to spend 10 days on this concept of division, because as I already explained before, then I want to move on to the linear equation, and I want to start the word problem with day number 101. I want to keep it nice and even, so it's very simple. Day number 101, we're going to start the word problem, and we're going to stick with that concept for the next 100 days. I'm going to go on until day 200. You understand? What will happen after that, one does not know. I'll see you tomorrow, okay?